Test 1, 2. Can you guys hear me now? I think we're working on it. All right, let's see. Here we go. There's a little bit of a delay. Let's see if we're working now. One of the settings got kind of a little messed up. I'm not sure what was going on. I'll wait a second to make sure everybody's good to go. We good? I think we're good. There we go. Holy smokes. Sorry about that, guys. Everyone's bailing on me now. Sorry. I'm not sure what happened. Plugged in the microphone, and the microphone wasn't recognized into the studio. So I'm not sure what was going on there. It's normally all this stuff is set up. It's tested and set up well in advance. So I'm not sure what was going on there. Anyway, sorry about that. It's going to be a lot I have to clip off at the beginning of that. So welcome to Lap 6 Friday edition, the Motivation Theory Run Club. Again, sorry about those technical difficulties at the beginning. I was a little rushed today. Never had that happen. So anyways, today again, like I always say, is anything goes. Any questions you have, the chat can just kind of go wherever it needs to go. And I was going to have a topic of just kind of discussing stability shoes, neutral shoes, pronators, neutral runners, efficient runners, people who supinate, things like that. And what are some of the best shoes for each one of those categories, and whether or not you know what category you're in, or you just put on a shoe and see what works. A lot of new runners do that, and it's tough. It's tough. I get asked all the time about what shoe should someone have, and that's definitely a tough question to answer for folks, because you can't do things like see them. What's going on, everybody? Well, good. Well, first off, let me say, it's okay that everybody's late, because it took me 5 minutes to get the mic fixed because we had technical difficulties at the beginning. And the mic was not working. Somehow the setting got messed up inside OBS Studio, and, it's a Friday. Good thing I have a beer today because that was quite stressful for me. So we're going to be talking about stability shoes, neutral shoes, zero drop. I think there's a lot of information out there that kind of conflicts with others. So, I think it'd be a great conversation. You guys are all knowledgeable runners, especially here in a chat, and I value your opinions. So I think this would be a great discussion to see, if I don't knock the table over. Oh man, my anxiety's up now. All that stress there. So welcome everybody. Welcome West Virginia Running Don. David Rowan, thank you for joining us. Goku Runner, Frank. You're gonna have to put the phonetic spelling. You're gonna have to do that. You're gonna have to help me out again. I thought about that the other day. Every time I see your name, I was like, I need to remember that, because I don't like just saying Frank. I say everybody's full name, but I need to have it roll off my tongue. So Frank, you need to put the phonetic spelling in there for me. Welcome to the stream, everyone. I'm glad to see you. Happy Friday. It was kind of a rainy day starting off here in Virginia, and turned out to be a really nice day. I finished up my 7-mile run on the treadmill. I got a work call in the middle of it, so I ended up doing a Skype meeting in the middle of it. So it slipped, which is a good thing. It ended up slowing me down. So I'm at 22 miles for the week. Not where I wanted to be. I wanted to be closer to 30 going into the weekend. I was hoping to crank out another 20 this weekend, 10 Saturday, 10 Sunday. I'm still going to try to do that. Put me a little over 40. I'm feeling good with that. Still battling the issues with my foot. And so when and the foot has kind of helped me look into things a little bit more. And these are things I've always thought of with a stability shoe. And so I think, most people know what a stability shoe is for. It's for people who need that extra help. For whatever reason, there's some inefficiencies in their running. There are, like overpronation, supination, things like that. And I don't know if everybody just assumes they know what they are. I mean, I don't know if you guys have done the wet foot test to check, and things change over time. I was looking back over the years at some of my shoes and the wear pattern, and I'm running a lot more neutral than I did many years ago, which is it's starting to change my mind about what shoes I should be wearing. You guys know that I'm a huge supporter of Mizuno and the stability shoe and the Horizon 4 and the Wave Inspire. I love them. Stability shoes are great. Love the Brooks. I love the Adrenaline. And that's a stability shoe. I've run in some neutral shoes here recently, and they feel great. And I just started wondering, well, I've run in neutral shoes in the past and didn't really understand why they felt okay. And I'm starting to wonder if some of the issues I've had with my left foot could be because I'm running in some stability shoes and looking into that. I'd like to know your all thoughts. You guys go ahead and type in the chat, if you're a neutral runner, an overpronator or a supinator. It'd be interesting to know if everybody knows what they are. So if you guys go ahead and type that in the chat, it'd be great. So David Rowan said hello. David, thank you for letting me know. I thought I maybe muted the mic when we were muted there at the beginning. Frank says, sorry I'm late. LSD run was leerer and searer than planned. Goku Runner says zero drop shoes. I have not run in zero drop shoes in a really, really, really long time. I used to, as a sprinter, I ran in those shoes. And I'm starting to think I want to get me a pair just to try them out, to do some reviews on them and slowly work my way into them. I run in the Speedgoat 4, which is I think it's got a 4 millimeter drop, and I'm used to running in a 12 to 10. So I think I used to be a proponent of barefoot running, not for races and not what you think. So let me unpack this a little bit. I would run on the treadmill for about a mile and a half every day. I would get on there and I would just run barefoot, not full out. I would just, maybe a 10-minute, 9.5 minute. And I would do that for a long time. And I worked on strengthening my feet a lot more than I do now. And I think there's something to be said for that, strengthening your feet. And I know that there are some people that were heavy supinators that found success in running in more flats than they do a really bulky max support shoe or max cushion or a stability shoe. So it's all over the place. And so, and you'll find conflicting stuff all the time. I mean, you look at online, you'll see people say that, stability shoes are the devil. And you have people think running barefoot on everything is the way to go. So it's difficult. It's a difficult thing to unpack. You go in here now. David, Frank said my dad run in the Adrenaline for like 20 years. Yeah, well, this year is their 20th, so he's been running since the beginning. I've run in the Wave Inspire series since the 7 or 8, somewhere around there. David says, I run in the Vapor 4 stability shoes. How do you like those? Obviously, Frank's dad loves the Adrenaline, we stick with what works, and I think we're creatures of habit, but I think over time things can change. I was very, 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 very stuck on the Wave Inspire 16 and still love it as an everyday trainer, putting a bulk of my mileage on, but now that I do shoe reviews and I'm running in all kinds of different shoes, I'm seeing kind of the benefit and of all the different shoes. Back in college, I was a manager of an athlete's foot, so I dealt a lot in shoes. I'm probably into them a lot more now than I was then, but I was very knowledgeable back then, working in a shoe store, watching, doing, run gait analysis and really trying to put people in the right shoes and things like that. I think it's important, but obviously that was when I was in my early 20s, and things have changed, and I think that people have so many different factors to them that I think everything can be true. Does that make sense? I think stability shoes can be bad for certain people. I think running barefoot can be bad for some people. But I think everybody fights over that and not realizing there are so many factors with the human body and how we function, how our just genetically, how our feet are, our legs are, just everything that happens in that connect chain up our body is different with certain people. So I think all of these things can be true. Just depends on the person. Frank says pretty neutral with a bit of a heel strike. And he also said the Olympus would be a great shoe for you. I need to try that. I need to, I'm working down a list. I have a long list of shoes that I want to go into. So, I'm looking at, I have a list here, so forgive me. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head. I definitely want to look at the Hoka One, sorry. Kavoida and Arahi. Sorry, I got to silence my phone. Because I'm definitely interested in that J-frame stability. They don't have the medial post, that really hard medial post on the inside. It kind of keeps your foot from rolling because, having a little bit of the pronation is good. And so I don't think stopping all pronation is a good thing. I mean, I've seen some runners from like Kenya that look like their whole ankles collapsing and almost hitting the pavement when they run marathons, and they're phenomenal, talented runners. It's just kind of crazy to me. Obviously, the Brooks with their guide rails. I love the shoes. I love Mizuno Inspire and the Adrenaline series. With the Adrenaline having the X-Pop, the wave foam instead of the wave plate like the Inspire has. They got the New Balance 860 series. You got the the Nike Air Zoom structure, Asics Gel Kayano, Sasakani Guide, and On Cloud Stratus. I'm not familiar with that shoe, but those are some stability shoes that are to help over pronators. Now, I did a lot of looking into whether or not people that are neutral should wear stability shoes, because I think people, as they transition from shorter distances to longer distances, it's one thing to say I'm okay with a neutral shoe when you don't really run anything over maybe a 10 or maybe half marathon, even a marathon. But if you're moving into running for 15, 20, 24 hours, 36 hours, is a neutral shoe going to be good for you if you have not properly, strengthened? Even if you're super strong in your legs and your ankles, is running that long really good for you without having that support? I've read that people transition to the stability shoes just because their ankles aren't strong enough, and people will say, well, if you run in a stability shoe, you shouldn't. That you should just get stronger in your ankles, feet, legs, calves, all of that. And I read that, and I think there could be some truth to that. But again, you don't know the internal makeup of someone's leg that could be causing those things. If they have been in a car accident, if they have pre-existing conditions that maybe make them collapse a little bit more than they should. I don't know, because again, a little bit of pronation is supposed to be good. It helps absorb the impact of running. David says, great shoes. I've run in the Vapor since Vapor 2. I have never run in the Vapor. It's definitely on my list to try. I've heard good things, so definitely it's on my list. Goku Runner says, running in the Newton Distance 9. Again, another shoe I haven't. You guys are all just picking shoes I haven't run in. Used to run in the Kindness. I did too. I ran in those before. So I'm familiar with those. And back in the day, I've avoided like those, and because they used to be, I think they ran a little more narrow. And so were the Nike shoes. I stayed away from them because a lot of the Nikes back in the day that I would put on just seemed really, and I don't have a really wide foot or anything like that. They just seemed really narrow. So I don't know. I don't know how I really gravitated. I think I just was going to a shoe store and kind of got in with the guys that worked there. And then, after them seeing me running, they were like, hey, this is a shoe for you. And they put me in a Mizuno and Wave Inspire, and I kind of just went with what works because I just wanted to run miles. I wasn't caring too much about switching shoes all the time. And most people that don't have running channels and do shoe reviews probably don't care to run in all kinds of different shoes. But it's interesting when you switch from shoe to shoe. It definitely is interesting. So I was going to talk about who are neutral runners out there. Goku Runner, are you a stability shoe? Trying to go back through and see who said. who said they were a stability shoe or neutral runner. Anybody here it's supinate? With a high arch? Anybody with a high arch? That's interesting to me. I think I was watching a video with Sage Kennedy, and he said he is to the point, he has such a high arch, almost to the point, he's kind of a medium. I saw him do the wet foot test, and he was saying that, he's almost to the point of supination, which can cause all kinds of problems too, because you do have to have a little collapse to kind of give you a little bit of padding. Vibrams, were those the foot gloves, right? I think I put a pair, mainly zero drop. So if you ran in zero drop, I'm assuming you've tried other shoes. Was it what drove you to a zero drop? Was it just what you felt better, or did you have an injury running in maybe a bigger max stability or neutral shoe you didn't like, and you found that the zero drop was better for your running health? Be interested. Be easier if you guys could talk back. You have to type it in. Frank said, when I ran in Cayanos, I felt like my big toes never came down. I would just run on the lateral side of my foot. I feel like that sometimes too. Like, I concentrate a lot, and so on my foot strike, and especially when I'm running on the treadmill, it's one of the things I concentrate on the most, especially since I've had this foot injury that I've been dealing with. I really concentrate on kind of my hip alignment. I concentrate on my foot strike and kind of where, and I move around all the time. So you guys probably don't see this, but all of my data when I go into my Garmin app and I look at all that, and I can see my rotation and my bounce, and I can see my how long my step is, and I can see kind of when I start to go to a heel strike, because a lot of times my foot starts to hurt. I'll switch to a foot strike, especially if I'm in the something that's like in a rocker design. I'll just let the shoe help me, and I think that's where people complain. They're saying it's kind of laziness and lack of training if you just let the shoe tell you what to do. And it's a tool to me. I love the shoe. I love having shoes that can help. The Speed Goats, even though they're a trail shoe, helped me on the treadmill in that 50K, but when I was having the foot issue, I literally probably need to go have an x-ray done on my foot, and I got through it just by concentrating for 7.5 hours on my foot strike, which is maddening. It's definitely maddening. The 5 fingers, that's right. But anyways, I was going to say, Frank, I have a tendency, I feel like I will hit laterally on my feet as I run. Not strongly, but I have a feel like when my body starts to break down, if I get tired, my feet will kind of do this. And so when I'm hitting on the outside, kind of rolling in. Not a hard pronation, but I don't, for some reason I'm hitting. I have a kind of a medium arch, and arch has gotten better. I used to be a little closer to flat-footed many years ago, and as I've gotten all these miles under my belt, I've just gotten stronger. So my feet have gotten stronger. My arch is actually built up. So I'm kind of in this transition period where I'm trying to kind of rewire my brain and my feet and my hips to kind of be in line in the way they should be, and kind of become a more efficient neutral runner like I was when I was younger. Because I watched a video of myself sprinting as a kid, and I didn't have the issues that I have now. I think they developed over getting kind of weak in my midsection, weak in my hips, glutes, and things like that over time. Because you can do that. You can run tons and tons of miles and just become kind of a shuffler. And I think I've talked about this before. I think I became a little bit of a shuffler. Not completely, but when you're running a ton of miles and you're just trying to get through ultras, not trying to win them, not really caring what your time is, you're just out kind of enjoying it, you kind of just don't push it too hard and you just become slow. And I think last couple of years I doing that, I was really minimal on the training, and so I was just getting by. And so right now I'm trying to really increase my base, increase my speed, and start going off after a little bit faster times now in the ultras, and even in other races. Like I am going to try to get a sub 4 this year if it happens in the Marine Corps Marathon. I'm really going to try, which to me would be great, from going from couch to the end of the year being able to do that. So that's one of my my options, but it became years in the past when I was running. Probably the last 3 years I ran the Marine Corps Marathon. I just looked at it as a long run, training run before the JFK. I didn't care. So I'd go put a high 4, low 5 marathon to just go out and run it, which is not really what I want to do. So kind of went on a little squirrel there. So Goku Runner said, yeah, the 5 fingers, those were always weird to me. I put them on and I never bought into them. They just look weird, look like gorilla feet. To me, it's a shoe. So as long as it works for you, that's awesome. And it works for a lot of people. And I think they've gone out of business, or they don't sell them anymore, because I don't really see anybody running. I used to see people run in those all the time, and they must have worked because a lot of people bought into them. And it's actually really good for, I think, folks that like the zero drop. They want a minimalist type shoe. I think they really work. They just looked so goofy to me for so long. Frank said, zero drop fixed my ITBS for me. Yeah, and I see that a lot. And so that's where I'm torn. That's where I am torn with a lot of people. I think, again, because we all have our individual issues when it comes to running, going to zero drop or barefoot running somewhat can help that. And I think here, well, I don't think I'm going to buy into going to zero drop for all my like running long miles, because I don't want to deal with a bunch of injuries doing that, because running from a 12 millimeter or 8 or even a 4 at the lowest and going to 0, it's just too much for I got to get my calves and ankles in order to do that. But I think I'm going to probably get me a pair of zero drop and use them to maybe run a mile every day, just to get used to it, get my calves kind of stretched out, and or even run barefoot, strengthen my feet up again, because that was something I really worked on a lot before I kind of fell out of distance running for a couple of years. So strengthening your feet is something I think is extremely necessary. I had some issues with ITBS too, but I fixed it with foam rolling. I foam roll every day. I foam roll for probably 5 to 10 minutes, every single day. So that helped me a lot. Goku Runner said, I had some issues that I felt was external. Component syndrome. I'm not familiar with what that is, Goku Runner. I'm about to go look that up now. I don't want to look anything up because I don't think I have it. I've been searching a lot on my foot, trying to figure out what's wrong with my foot. My online doctorate. Frank said, good luck on your 5K tomorrow, Goku Runner. Oh, you got a 5K tomorrow. Is it a virtual 5K? Obviously. We going for a PR? I'm going to be signing my daughter up, Skylar, she's been running a 5K like every day. She comes down, part of her workout routine. She just built herself up to running 3.1 miles every day. She just runs it every day. So I thought to reward her, I would virtually sign her up for a race and let her run one so that she can get a medal. She's never done an official race, so she can get a shirt and a medal, and kind of, anything I can try to do to help her become a runner. She runs just for the simple fact that it keeps her in shape, but I don't think she's like, oh, I really want to be a runner. I'm going to try to push her into that, because I need a running partner. So I'm going to take her out, and I always tell her I'm going to take her out on the trails. So she's always like, so how far do I have to run? I'm like, honey, I'll run as far as you can. We'll slow down and we'll just enjoy the woods. I want her to have a good experience. Goku Runner said, tried many different shoes and then went to Vibrams, and I was able to run without pain again. Just recently started running in shoes with more of a drop, such as the Newton Distance 9s, 4 millimeter drop. Yeah, I mean, that 4 millimeter is not huge, but as long as you're feeling good. Corona said, thanks, Frank. Welcome to the stream, Arlene. Just seeing your name. Sorry I didn't welcome when you came in. The MCM in email said that they would have a virtual if they have to cancel the race. Did they say that for the marathon? Because I saw that they added that race at 12. Was it 12K? Something like that. That they added there on Quantico, which I thought was strange that they're adding a race that said they'll have a virtual component. And I think they're just kind of planning to see, well, if they do cancel it, then they could just have the virtual. I think that's probably why. I thought there was a little bit I thought it was some good news. I was actually like, wow, they're really positive that this could happen. But I saw the kind of the virtual side of it. I was like, I think they're just planning for either or. So yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about that? The virtual races. Now I understand the virtual races. Just trying to keep people busy. I'm not a huge fan of them. I mean, it's not something I get psyched about. And I'm not downing anyone. I know I listen to Kafusi. He complains about them. He doesn't, not a big fan of them. And I don't mean it in the sense that it's bad for other people. I mean, just for me, I don't really run it for the bling and the t-shirt and stuff like that. So to me, it's just like I'm paying someone to go do my training run. So I know that's kind of, I don't know, crappy to say, but other people get motivated by that. And I think that's good because, again, I'm all about motivation. Whatever factors and things can help motivate people, that external motivation, extrinsic versus intrinsic motivation, I'm never going to put anyone down for the things that they do to motivate themselves. It's just not a motivating factor to me. A motivating factor to me is me running my runs and putting them on Strava and know that everybody sees them. That motivates me more than a virtual race. Especially, I don't know. If I'm going to do a marathon, I want to go to DC and do it because the elevation profile is a lot nicer than when I run around here. So I don't think I want to pay a super expensive. I would defer just to next year. So I have to pay next year before I run a marathon around my neighborhood. It'd be crazy, or in the woods. I would do it just for me, for fun. I wouldn't pay somebody to do it. West Virginia Don said, I ran the Hoka, Brooks, Saucony, and New Balance. I've been in Saucony? I always say it either way. Since my first Ultra, the New Balance rubbed my mutant pinky toe. I enjoyed the others. The only thing that I've ever run in that I could not stand is the. Let me grab it real quick. Oh, these bad boys right here, and I almost thought about giving these away. The Fellraiser Trail Shoe. Now, I've looked at these things, and I can swear that the right one, look at this. I'm lining up the back. Those are perfectly lined up. I'm getting to it, guys and gals. One is shorter than the other. I put these on, and I know I have my right foot that's larger than the other, but this thing's made me lose a toenail in like running 13 miles. This used to be the trail shoe, and I was like, I'm going to make it work because these were expensive. And I think I ran that one run. This part just rubbed my big toe on that side. I can actually see where my indent is, and these things probably have less than 30 miles on them. So I thought about giving them away or giving them to my son. They'll probably fit him. This is aggravating. But other than that, I've never had a shoe ever bother me like the way those are. That made me so mad. Another tangent. Frank said, I feel like having a mix of drops in the rotation is good. I do too. And now that I'm running in all these different shoes, I'm seeing the benefit. And I knew about this benefit. That's why I would always do a lot of different ankle and calf exercises and kneading my feet. Like I would get the foam roller and I'd stand on it like a circus bear or a log roller or whatever. And I would knead those tendons and the plantar fasciitis, the plantar tendon and all of that stuff to kind of loosen everything up. And I get on the steps and I do calf raises, and then I would knead that outside, that lateral part of the tendon of my foot, and I would do that every single day. And I think running in the different drops just helps keep your feet. Was it proprioception? Is that any doctors out there? Arlene out there? Remember the connection between your brain and your feet, just kind of keeping your feet from getting lazy and your brain from getting lazy. I think so too. I think it's good for your calves to stretch your calves out. Because when you're running in those basically high heels, which a 12 millimeter drop like in the Wave Inspires, I think it's good to drop it down so your calves can get elongated and stretched out. So I agree with you 100%. Goku Runner says basically shin splints caused by expanding the muscles of the interior compartment of my leg. Okay, cause numbness. My feet, toes, not fun. Wow. I've never had shin splints. The last time I had shin splints is when I was in track. Never had them as an adult. Never had them in any other capacity. I've always thought that shin splints were that imbalance between your calf muscle and the front, the muscle and the tendons running down the front of your leg. That's what I thought there were, but I'm not, because I've never had that as an adult. I've never really looked a whole lot into it. I probably am going to be making some videos to talk about some exercises to do for plantar fasciitis, which I have had in both feet before. And that was one of the most painful things that I've ever been through, was plantar fasciitis. I wouldn't even wish it on somebody. I had it to the point where it was giving me almost tears when I was soaking my feet. It was ridiculous. And that's when I really started getting into, when I first started running, and I was really just getting into what shoes I needed to be in. So it was pretty important. Goku Runner says, yep, a virtual 5K on my channel. I've been training for 9 weeks. Hope to get that sub 25 time, but weather may not cooperate. Well, I'll be rooting for you. We'll have to go watch that. So everybody make sure you go check out Goku Runner and his 5K. Give him some support. Same with West Virginia Running Don. He's ticking off the miles too. Sneakily. Do you already have your course mapped out and stuff like that? I watched you do your 1 mile run the other day. Were you trying to get a PR? Anyways, you carried the camera and stuff like that, and you tried doing it, and you talked about towards the end where you kind of gave up when you knew you weren't going to hit your time. Frank said, I haven't done one yet. I suck for those Strava challenge things. Oh, man. So, Frank, I used to really get into the Strava challenge. There's a couple of the routes I run in the neighboring neighborhoods and stuff like that where, I've been on Strava since 2014, back when I really didn't even use it correctly. I kept everything private. I didn't really do anything, but then I would see these segments, and there's a couple that I've actually tried going after a couple times, but now they kind of annoy me because my watch will tell me, when I'm running in trails and stuff like this, a segment's coming up. I'm like, oh, I don't the athlete and the competitor in me is I want to go after this. But the people that are setting some of those are just so ridiculously fast, and sometimes I'm 7 or 8 miles into a run when this segment comes up, because where I run, there's 2 major roads that can feed into it. So if I run really far across the forest, people are parking on the other side and they're just going for those times. They're fresh. So I think I'm going to have to start sniping some of those. I know everybody's really into it right now. It makes it fun. It gives you something to do. I typically will not think about it. Strava will let me know, hey, you ran a PR. And I'll go back and I'll see that, 70 times that I've done this. And then I'll think about it. But I wish it would let me know some of the segments that I'm running on before I get there. It doesn't ever let me know. It lets me know the official segments, the ones that you could try for the times on, but it doesn't ever let me know my own. So I would really there's a couple that I already know, but where they start is just kind of random that Strava picks out. I don't know. It's weird. Goku Runner said, yeah, the virtual runs that I pay for aren't for me. I agree. I don't need a medal or shirts. Yeah, there's something weird about it. And I don't like talking, you guys know I'm pretty positive. I don't complain. I don't want to put down other things people find joy in. Because I don't, honestly, and I'm going to say that for officially, I do not have a problem with someone else who finds joy and motivation in getting a medal. Do I love medals? Absolutely. I'm going to be a hypocrite to say I don't love medals, because I love my medals back there. They're not why I do it. And Marine Corps Marathon has awesome medals. I'm super proud of those JFK 50 medals that I get. Very proud of all those for what they represent, not the actual thing itself. So now, that being said, there is the organization that puts on a lot of the ultras that I run, who's doing a belt buckle for a 100-miler. It's the first virtual race. I've done one of their virtual races, but it was after the fact. It was because I ran this treadmill thing, and they're like, hey, because within the same week I could still do it, so I submitted it and got it. It's not even why I did that. But they're doing a 100-miler belt buckle that I'm interested in doing. I might do that. I don't know. I think it takes the pressure off if I do a 100-miler on my own time virtually, but it also makes it easier for me to stop. I'm going to DNF my own virtual 100 to be very easy to do if there's not a lot of accountability. So that's, a lot of times I'll say stuff to you all and on Strava that'll kind of give me some accountability and make me want to finish things. So, oh, crying out loud. Yeah, they are a bit narrow. Frank said they're narrow. Yeah, it doesn't even feel narrow. It's just one side. I could swear that they have. I wear an 11.5. I could swear one is an 11 and one is 11.5. They both say 11.5. There's a mistake somehow. There just has to be. So I've completely stayed away from that entire brand. Oops, I hit my hand. I stayed away from that entire brand just because of that one shoe. I've never bought another one just because of that. Not risking it. Anthony says, the new Structure 22s have been really good for me. Well, I can't argue with anybody who says a shoe works for them. I like that. There's nothing better than putting on a pair of shoes that just feels like it fits your foot. I have several back here, which is hard for me because, I've been running in the Horizon 4s every day if you follow me on Strava, because I need to get them to the point so I can get them to 50 miles and do a review. I usually do a kind of initial reaction, my initial feelings on a shoe and kind of the stats. And then I will then switch to doing a full review after I did 50 miles in them, and then maybe a 100-miler. I did the 300-mile for the Wave Inspires. So, yeah. It's hard because it's taken me a while to get all the mileage up on each one of those shoes. So I'm looking at the picture back here. I got the Brooks Adrenaline 20s, the Hoka Speed Goats that I still have to do, the 50 mile, the Brooks 19s, because I want to do a comparison between the Brooks, and I'm going to be doing a comparison between the Brooks and the Horizon 4 and the Wave Inspire. So I have going to be battling them all together and trying to do a good review. So I'm running in all of them, and I want to give a fair shake. I love the Brooks Adrenaline series too, and I got the Lapetets down there. That's behind both those. They feel great. I don't like them as much as the others, but they are a great shoe for what they are. So it's hard for me to get all the mileage up for all those shoes, so I can get to a point where I'm doing a really good review and I can really tell you all how they are. Not just you all, but the world who stumbles across the videos. Arlene says, it would be easy to cheat in a virtual, especially using a treadmill. Not that I don't trust people. Theoretically, you could just turn on the treadmill without running on it. Yeah, I guess if they would take a picture of it. I think some of the folks are requiring Strava, or some sort of electronic proof, not just taking a picture of the treadmill. Now even Seth DeMore had a virtual race, and there was some questionable times. There was one young man and his brother out in California or something who was a competitive runner, but he posted something like a 14-minute 5K or something like that. It would have been, whatever it was, like 12-minute. It would have been like a national record or something, which was questionable. Yeah, I think people could cheat. I mean, the only thing I really care, and I don't really care, what does somebody get out of that? I think if somebody wins, for somebody to actually podium and win anything, if they actually do that, there should be a Strava attached. And you have to be able to review it and look at it to make sure there's not long pauses where they pause their watch. Like if they get off if they stop running and their watch is still running, whatever, as long it's the elapsed time. I think you needed that, but I think if somebody runs that and just to get a medal, well, they paid their money, so it's not a huge deal. But definitely, if somebody cheated to actually podium, I wouldn't want to see someone lose out on an actual, win because of somebody cheating. But if somebody's just cheating, that's somebody who's not actually competing. I don't know what that really gets them. So. I think scrolling up here. David said, good luck Goku Runner on his 5K. Goku Runner said, thanks, David. Yes, I have my route mapped out. Excited for it to go. Okay, cool. Glad that's one of the questions I asked you, whether or not you had it mapped out already. That's good. Frank said, I don't mean the segments, but the run 5 days a week for 4 weeks, and you get a coupon for Lululemon things. Okay, all right, yeah. So I do sign up for a couple of things that like we'll do, like run a certain amount of time in a week or a month and stuff. I'll do that too. It does help. That gamification of running is, and I did a video on this several months ago. The gamification of running is exciting. It's a new thing. I think, again, anything that will help you be motivated to get out and run and do those things is extremely exciting for people. I think Strava does better when there's more runners, and so they need to do things to create more runners and make them run more. I think that's a good thing. And I think this kind of pandemic is creating more runners too, just from what I see. I think it's actually creating a lot more runners. Tasmania Running, thank you for joining in. Welcome to the stream. If I missed you, let me know if I missed you, if I didn't welcome you to the stream, because that's not on purpose. We've got 11 people, 9 watching now, or 11. I think it's 11. I looked up. The highest amount of people we had in one of these streams is 16. Not counting the treadmill live one, but just in these MTRC hangouts. 16 is the highest amount of people we've had in here, so that's awesome. So we've hit an 11. I think we're at 11 right now. That's awesome. Everyone, please make sure you hit that thumbs up. That does help with the discovery of the stream and how much YouTube pushes it. So I'd appreciate if you guys would just make sure you hit that thumbs up if you have not already. And even when you watch the videos, it helps me. It helps me in the channel. Frank said, I actually snagged 2 crowns yesterday, though. People are going after crowns. I said people have been getting bent out of shape because there's so many people that are just going out sniping crowns now that they're running other people's segments that they've set, and they just go drive to them and like go take them. So I think that's actually kind of funny. I think that's good fun. I think that's good fun. And then you'll see the post that people will talk about. They're to start talking trash with each other. They're going to reclaim their crowns and stuff. That's awesome. Tasmania Running said, 100 miles on a treadmill. No, I don't think I'll ever do 100 miles on a treadmill. Not unless I had a brand new souped up treadmill. If I do 100 miles on this one, my wife's going to kill me. I don't want it falling apart because I'm not the only one that uses it. So if I were to do that, I would do it if I had a treadmill that I thought would completely do okay with it. But no, not on a treadmill. Just out and about. I do have kind of a 10-mile loop that I run, and I'm just thinking about the elevation, the profile, just like, I don't know if I could do that 10 times. It's brutal. David said, good luck, Arlene M. Oh, I just skipped over. Arlene M said, I do have a virtual 15K. The Aerovate, okay, adrenaline, okay, tomorrow, but not going to cheat though. Well, it sounds like you've been thinking about it, Arlene. Sounds like it. Turning on the treadmill, not even running on it. No, good luck on the 15K. Good luck on the 15K. I love the strange distances. Like a 15K in America sounds weird because we do 5K, 10K, 50K. It's weird that we'll do races like mixed miles and Ks. It's just weird to me that we do that here in America. And but the Marine Corps, the Marine Corps does the they used to do a 12K. I know I did one a long time ago. I can't remember what it was called. Like a 8K, a 12K. They did the 17.75K just for the Marine Corps. The birthday was 1775, so I like those. They're actually kind of funny. But whenever you talk to them about people in the States, they're always like, "That's a weird distance." And David said, "Good luck, Arlene." Yes, good luck, Arlene. We'll be rooting for you. Good luck to Goku Runner on his and you on yours. Recycle on Wednesdays. So I had to break that down. It's all lowercase. Welcome to the stream, first off. And they say, I almost called you he. I don't know who you are. Arlene M. Nice. I hope it's great. Welcome to the stream, and absolutely, we hope it's great. Arlene says, thanks. Goku Runner said, I think if a race organization that have put on races for many years, and then starts a virtual run to stay afloat, those are the ones we should support. Ones that are truly virtual, new, maybe not. I think that's a good way of thinking about it. I think supporting I'm a huge supporter of race directors and the people who do the hard work to, especially smaller local races and things like that. They put in a lot of work to make those and give us runners things to do and organizing races. So I think to be able to support them in any way, that's why I'm actually doing the virtual races for the ATR 24, the people that put on those races, is because they do need it. And they're actually trying to support the people that because they donate their money, they donate it to the veteran causes and things like that. They're trying to keep the sticker, metal, shirt manufacturers, all the people that they use for their races, they're trying to keep them afloat, which I think is super awesome. That they're still trying to do races to help them, not for them alone, because they're low overhead. They donate their time, they donate the money that is used for people to buy into those races. They donate it all. So I think it's very admirable that they're supporting the people, the companies that are always there for them. So that's why I'm doing it. So I think that's a great point, and I missed that point, so that's awesome you brought that up. Thank you. David Rowan said, why would you bother cheating? Yeah, I don't understand that either, but people find a way to cheat. I don't, people who cheat in marathons and things like that, I will never understand what you get out of it. I think people get addicted to some of the work. If you've watched some of those stories, and I've read and watched a lot of what those people did, it's like they put almost more work into cheating than just actually training. But they fell in love, I think, with the adrenaline rush of being recognized. They weren't actually talented enough to win, so they found a way to cheat and get recognition and attention from it. So I think it's kind of a sickness. I really just think it's a sickness, because most normal people are not going to cheat, because I don't know why you would. I would never feel good about that ever. I mean, it's having integrity, but I just don't understand. I would never personally feel good about getting anything that I didn't earn. It's like somebody else getting a trophy and then giving it to you and you didn't win. Like, okay, it's a nice gesture, but I didn't earn it. Tasmania Running says, is a downhill point-to-point course okay for a virtual, or is that too close to cheating? They may, I guess it depends on the race. I don't know if they try to outline some sort of base profile. I do know that they will call people out that were doing. Again, I don't know if all the virtual races are even doing prizes, so it may not even matter. There's people that will go out and do, 1 mile repeats, with rests in between, and they'll count that as a race. But I think some people are just using it as a training run. Some people are just having fun with it. But again, if there's prizes to be won, placings like official wins and things like that, they really need to to look at that. But I mean, I don't even know. I think if you're paying for your virtual race and they don't have any kind of requirement, and there's really not a prize, you could do what you want. If you PR'd in that, that's kind of you're always going to have that asterisk in your mind, like, well, I PR'd, but I did a point-to-point with like a net downhill. But they have some marathons that are like that, so you just kind of have that PR for that course, and you have PR for other stuff. I don't think it's that big of a deal, as long as nobody's cheating. David Rowan said, what's your thoughts on Strava making you pay for most things on their app? I pay for the app. And I probably don't use most of the things that come with it. I've watched Kofusi talk about it, and I feel the same way. I don't even know what I'm getting. Holy smokes. Someone's driving by on a dirt bike. I pay for Strava, the Summit membership, and I don't even know where the line is between the benefits and what I'm paying for and what is free. I can see Strava eventually trying to put a lot of things behind a paywall. It's not that expensive, and I'm not going to say, the 60 something bucks or $60 a year, whatever it is. It's not that expensive, but I'd like a clear definition of what I'm getting for that. Right now, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't have a problem with a company making money and putting things behind a paywall. I don't have a problem with that. I just think Strava has a ways to go as an app. I think they do certain things well, and I think they do certain things terrible. I don't like that you can't, there's a lot of features that I don't like that they don't have, like being able to hide a map. People should be able to protect their privacy and be able to hide a map if you're outside, and not all the silliness with the circles that don't work. You should be able to hide a map. And they know the back end and the data. They try to gamify everything and make everything fair for people to review. I think they know the data so they can tell if something's legit or not. So if you go out and run somewhere but you don't want to know to tell people where you are, they should be able to legitimize that and hide the map. They should be able to allow you to add shoes from the app, the mobile app. They should allow you to add vert on a treadmill. So if I'm on a treadmill, I'm recording mine. I'm not entering the data. It's automatic recording my watch and my chest band, and it has all the data. I should be able to go into Strava and enter in that I did, 1.5%. So I'll put that in, I'll do 300 or 400 feet of elevation, and I don't get any credit for it. Not credit as in you guys see it. Credit as in the vert that I'm gaining, and I kind of know what my training was. And it's just, there's a lot of things that they're not doing that I don't understand. They're spending more time trying to create the competitiveness and all of the gamification of it than just fixing some of the basic app stuff. I didn't answer your question, did I? I guess so. Short, I don't have a huge problem with them paying for it, but I think they need to outline it a little bit better. What you're paying for, what you get for what you pay for. And I think do away with tiers. I think a lot of the data you're getting is more for your own benefit, and a lot of that is already offered on the watches. So like I can go on my Garmin app and it offers all of that. So I don't know. I don't have a really good answer for that, other than I think they should probably just be more apparent with what you get with what you pay for. There's a lot of talking right there. Dave Rowan said, we do the same in the UK, 5 kilometer, 10K, half marathon, full marathon, and then a 50K. Yeah, it's fun. I find it funny that we get into, United States, we get beat up a lot because we have miles for everything else and inches, and we're not on the metric system, but then all our races are like half in the metric, half in miles. It's just funny. But it's tough for me. Like when I'm doing my videos and stuff, I want to be able to make it more open. So answer me this. So for those of you who are in like the UK and that are in places where you use the metric system, is it confusing for you when people put things in miles? Or are you guys smarter about things than Americans are? It's probably more the case. You know where things on the world a lot better than Americans do. But like when I see K, I have to like try to do a bunch of math. And when someone puts like, I have to change my shoes at 500K. I'm like, okay, 10K is 6.2. Like I'm trying to do the math. It confuses me. So does it confuse you all that are always in the metric system when I say I ran 10 miles today? Do you have to try to do the conversion? That's a stupid question, but I've always been interested in that because I try to make my videos very easy to consume. So when I talk about mileage for shoes or I talk about how far I ran, I want to constantly put the conversion for folks who don't know what miles are. Does that make sense? Is that a thing? I don't know. Grindle said, David Rowan, it's funny when I have to explain to Europeans why I have my day saying 26.2. It's in miles. Grindle also said, cheating in amateur races. What's the point? You don't get paid. Medals to remember, pain and glory. I think it's just people have a sickness and they're addicted to the attention. That's all I can think about. Like I've run tons of 5Ks and 10Ks and I've placed in a couple. Like I've got a third place mug from a 5K, but like I don't even think about it. Like I don't be like I got third place in a 5K. Like I don't even think about it. Like I don't really care that much. What I will be proud of is next year when I'm training for the 24-hour race, and I'm putting that out there. It's exclusive. I'm going for a top 5 finish. I've been top 15. I'm going to be going for a top 5 finish, and low key, I want to win it. Like, I'm going to be specifically training for that race. So that's my next year, is be training for a 24-hour trail race, and I'm going to be going for it. I mean, it's going to be legit going for it. So I would be super proud of that, but probably just as proud as finishing my first one. So Frank said one of the Aerovapa virtuals is just a vert measure, right? Yeah, he does a crazy one. Is it Jam? Is that his name? What everybody call him? I always Jamal. Sorry. I saw him do that 1 mile 40% treadmill run. That was insane. This thing only goes up to 12. I can't imagine doing 40. That's crazy. Tasmania Running said, I'm fine with most of what Strava did, but removing seeing total distance for a month is a bit harsh. Oh, I didn't know they did that. I haven't actually reviewed that a whole bunch. I've been buried in shoe reviews and filming and content planning and just back-end admin stuff for my channel. I haven't had a whole lot of reading into the Strava stuff. So I think that's kind of crazy that they did that. If they actually did that, that's just kind of pushing people into behind a paid wall. But, I can't be mad at people. As someone who was a software developer in my former life, I can't be mad at people providing a free service, but then trying to make money by coaxing people behind a paid wall. I don't think it should be as expensive as it is, but because a lot of the things they offer can be done by the apps that come on the phones, but you lose out on the community aspect. And even though I think the Garmin has the community aspect, it's not as mature as the Strava one. So there's a lot to kind of weigh there, but I could see that if people have been running on the free one and now you can't see your totals and all that stuff, that's kind of rough. That is. But I pay for it anyways. I pay it and I don't think about it again. That way I don't have to worry about it. Arlene said, Frank, Aerovapa has a limitless vertical challenge, which awards you for the amount of vert you do. That's a very interesting race. We're getting into all these kind of weird races where you run 1 mile every hour for forever, or 4 miles every hour for forever. Like, these are weird races that are just pulling out all the crazies that are able to do these awesome feats. But limitless vert, people are going to get wrecked on that. They're going to get wrecked. And that's when I don't know how they're going to do, because you can't do that on the treadmill. You're actually going to have to go outside and do that. Because I think that, would lead up to cheating. I mean, I don't know how Strava does that with all things, but, I can't track vert here, so I'd have to actually go outside and do that. Just do repeats going up a hill. And it might be a lot easier for folks who live up in the mountains than those of us who do not. John Clavery, so I don't have my glasses on. It's hard for me to read some of these names. Just joined Strava tonight. Love the stats. Yeah, John, it is really good. That's one of the powerful things about Strava. It's really cool to see that. I love the community aspect of it. I love that I have the Motivation Theory Run Club out there also. So if you're not part of that, you can join the Motivation Theory Run Club on Strava. Closing in on 100 people. I think we're going to break 100 here soon. That's really cool because then we can all interact with each other. You get to see people in their pictures where they get to run around the world. I love that part of Strava. I love the social part of Strava. I like my data and stuff like that. How it kind of divides it all up, and I can look at it and track it. I can track mileage on my shoes in one place. Makes it very easy. I just run my phone, my watch, my phone sync, and just syncs it up. Super easy, but I love the social aspect. So welcome to the stream, by the way, John. And Rosser, welcome to the stream. So you just came in. Grendel, welcome. Recycle on Wednesdays, welcome to the stream. And going down here. We're going over today. I'm going over if you guys are going over. The family went to go get some food. Did I say some food? Go get some food. So he left me, so. Going down here. I kind of just, my notes are out the door now. We talked about it. I'd rather talk to you all. So congrats, John. Make sure you join us on Strava. It's Motivation Theory Run Club. You can also follow me too, just Motivation Theory Running. Grendel said, regarding the conversions, for me, it's easier to multiply than divide. So what is it? Is it like 1 point, you multiply? So you guys have to divide. We have to multiply, right? Or is it the other way around? I should be better at this. I'm so dumb. And make sure if you are just joining the stream, make sure you hit that thumbs up on the stream. I'm going to get it to 20. I'm going to get it to 20. Those are the things I get to. The numbers. Try to break records. Try to break the records. We got 14 watching now. Welcome all of you. If you're not in the chat, you know, just say hello. I'd like to welcome you. Maybe I can see you here. Participants. Well, see, it won't let me see the participants when I'm live. I can only see you if you say something. So if I do not say something, it's because I can't see you're in. Well, the participation thing doesn't come up. Let me go back up here. Rosser said, I think we know how far both is, so we can do either. Yeah, we gotta Americans, you gotta love us. You gotta love us. We ran away from you guys all those years ago, and now we have trouble converting to the metric system. Rosser said we're too lazy to convert. That's right. I think it sounds better, though. It sounds better that I ran 100K than I ran 60 miles. So to non-runners here in the States, if I tell someone I ran 100K, I think they just assume it's 100 miles. So we can get away with that. Like a 50K, you tell somebody, wow, you ran 50K. They don't know. People don't know, especially non-runners. They don't know. It sounds better, though, to say I ran in Ks. That might be the whole thing. Just sounds better. Grindle, when someone says 10 miles for me, it's a quick times 1.6 done. Okay. That's easier. That's definitely easier. I always have to go with what I know, like 5K. I know how far that is. I know how far 10K is. And then for some reason, we don't have anything in between until you get to 50K. So I just kind of do this roundabout. I'm always kind of estimating. I base everything on 5K or 10K, and then I kind of generally understand how far, 100K, which is 60 miles or whatever. So I can kind of get close. I get an idea. But when people on Strava put in there that I did a hard 18K today, and I'm like, oh, 18K. Like I have to think about it. Sorry, I'm touching my face. I'm in my own house too. I'm okay. Recycle on Windows said that is exciting. Absolutely. David Rowan said, I love the fact that on this channel we are talking to you and everyone else. Keep it up, people. I love that too. So this is the part, for a long time I avoided live streams because they are stressful. And if you guys knew me personally, I'm a very social person. I like talking to people. That's why I comment on every comment on my channel. That's why I'm on Strava, and I literally go out and make sure I go every day, and I go down the run club and make sure I give kudos on everything and look at everyone's runs every day. And I go back. I love that aspect. I love helping people. I love interacting with people. I love that you guys would even come out here and join me. It's awesome. It really is. It's really awesome that we're all out here and can do this. So that's why I want to continue to commit to doing the stream twice a week. I'd love to do it every day. My wife would kill me though, and you guys would probably get bored of just talking to me like this every day. But it is awesome. It is awesome. So I appreciate every single one of you coming out here and hanging out. It's amazing to me that people would come out here and listen to me ramble on and talk. I still get amazed that people come to the channel and watch stuff. I'm still at that point. Like it means a lot that people spend their time. Time's the one thing you can't get more of, and when people give you time, it's extremely valuable and important, and so it means a lot. Let me go catch back up here again in the chat. Tasmania Running said, miles to K I can do, ounces and rocks to... No, I can't. When people start talking about stones, I weigh 18 stones or something. I'm like, what is a stone? I don't It cracks me up. I need to have a chart. I need to carry around a chart, conversion chart. I could probably there's probably an app for it now that I can figure that stuff out. But when people talk about stones, it cracks me up. Grindle said, I guess dividing the other way around might be annoying. It is. I don't even divide. I don't even try to do the conversion. I literally, if someone says I ran 20K today, I will just go, okay, 10K, 6.2, double it. Okay, 12.4. Like that's how I have to do it. And Strava's going to make us all dumb because it should do the converter. It does the conversions, I think, anyways. Like you guys that are in Ks, you see Ks on all your stuff, but from our side, we see miles, unless you type it in. Frank said, how do you figure out how to get a lot of vert and then not have to run down? I don't know. It's a treadmill. That's about the only way you can do that. Yeah, I don't know. Unless you stop your run. Yeah, like your vert should always equal. If you're doing like a loop, maybe it's different. I don't know. It should always be the same. I don't know. You're gonna break my brain, Frank. Goku Runner said, anybody ever on Daily Mile? I don't know what that is. I don't know what Daily Mile is. Goku Runner also said, what are you doing for Memorial Day weekend? That's a good question. I will probably be doing some grilling. I am going to try to get up tomorrow and run 10 miles in the morning, which will probably be in the afternoon because I hate running in the morning. And any day that I try to get up early and I'm like super on it, the baby wakes up and I try to let the wife sleep, so I take the baby. So I think we'll probably just grill out. I mean, there's not a lot of things that are open to go do things. We'll try to grill out. I grilled out steak last night. I think we'll probably do some burgers and things like that on the grill and maybe sit on the back porch as long as it's not raining. It's been kind of rainy and cold here in Virginia for like a week, so I'm hoping we have some nice weather. But tomorrow I will be running 10. Sunday I'll be running 10. And that should put me a little over 40. And that's about all I have planned. I haven't really thought. I have content that I got to do. I'm working a lot on the channel. This playlist stuff, like trying to optimize playlists, trying to optimize titles, tags, descriptions. There's so much to go into a YouTube channel. And this channel is growing fast now, so I'm spending a lot of time just on it. And you guys make it so much better to have all of you. Believe me, having comments on the videos and all that stuff like that, and have you guys talk to it really does help, especially as a content creator. You put so much heart and soul and time into this stuff, and I enjoy it. I enjoy interacting with all of you, so it really does mean a lot to have you all support me and enjoy the content. And as long as I continue to provide value, I'm happy that you guys are happy. West Virginia Don said, Goku Runner, my wife's birthday is tomorrow. I'm going to go for a long drive for fun. I read my mind immediately. I'm going to go for a long run. You're like, it's my wife's birthday tomorrow. You know what I'm doing? Going on a long run for her birthday. They're going to go on a long drive. You're out in some beautiful country, so you should be able to have a nice long drive out there. It's pretty out there in West Virginia. Rosser 123 Vig. Did you add that on there? Was Vig always on there? You said, I like before the stream started because you premiered it. I premiered it? What happened? What did I do? So what I did, this is another funny story. It's been a week for me, guys and gals. So the other day, I usually try, and I always say I think I'm going to do this right after the stream, is I'll go create. In YouTube, you go in, you create the stream early. So the stream will go out there. That's why you guys get notifications that say, hey, the stream's coming on this day. And then you can click the reminder. So if you click the reminder, YouTube will feed that to you later on. Well, the night that I set the thing, I was thinking it was the next day. But because of the time, I thought it was past midnight, and it wasn't. It ended up being the next day. So the 21st. So West Virginia Don, running Don, and somebody else were in the chat waiting. Don texted me saying, hey, your time, it says it's today. And I'm like, it was like 5:30. I'm like, oh, so I had to go change the time. So what I do is I go out there and create this. I will try to do this tomorrow. I'll go out and create the thumbnail and create the stream, and then I'll send it out so that you all can get it, because YouTube will decide whether or not, like if you guys see the stream thing and you don't click on it, YouTube will go, well, they don't like seeing these, so they won't even feed it to you. So there's a lot of people that say they're going to come out here and they won't, because they're not actually getting the notification because they don't have notifications set. So make sure, all of you, that you not only are you subscribed to this channel, but you've clicked the bell and click all notification. That way you get all the notifications, because YouTube won't give you the notifications every time I release a video. There's probably people in here that have no idea that I released a video yesterday because you probably haven't gotten the notification. It happens all the time. So that's why I'm trying to set these up early and kind of notify people on Strava. And I don't know how to get a hold of everyone, because if I do this under the community tab, YouTube won't notify you with sharing the stream in the community tab. I don't know. It's difficult. So you just got to make sure you if there's channels that you like, that you not only subscribe, but you click the bell and all notifications. That way you will get notified, because if you don't, YouTube will decide what they want to feed to you just based on your viewing habits. So it does help. So I have probably only like 400, almost 500 people that have all notifications for this channel. YouTube tells me. It tells me how many people actually have all notifications set on this channel. And it's not a bad percentage, because most people don't click it because they don't think to. Just making sure you do that. Premiere. So I don't know. Yeah. So today I did a 5-minute premiere with all of you because my mic wasn't working. So what I typically will try to do is I'll try to turn on my stream is starting soon for about 2 to 3 minutes, and then I'll fade into the stream. I've failed on that miserably several times now, so but I try to get everybody a heads up. I know everybody's busy, so I hope everybody's okay. I'm gonna stay on, for as long as I want to now. So I don't know what Daily Mail is. Long drive for Dawn. Rosser said that you enjoyed the stream because I premiered it. Thank you. Recycled on Wednesday says, haha, the 24-hour race you're training for sounds exciting. Oh, okay, yes. It is. I've run it twice before. One time I just was going to do 100K, 60 miles, and then the second time was like it fell on a Mother's Day, so I just ran a 50K. This next one, this was my comeback, just so you all know. So the 24-hour race I was going to do is an interloopal race, 6.25 miles. It was canceled this year, and that's why I ended up doing the 50K on the treadmill. Next year, around the same time, the race will happen, hopefully, and that's the one I will be going after. I want top 5. I think I can get top 5. I've done the math. I know what it takes because I've done the race several times, and I'm going to train specifically for it. So I'm excited. It's something in my brain I want to do. I'm tired of just going after races and just going for the finish. This one I think I could do. I got a top 5:15 the first year, so I'm looking forward to it. It gives me something to work towards, and you know, you got to find things to do to challenge yourself. Goku Runner said, happy birthday to your wife. Absolutely, Don. Tell your wife happy birthday from the whole Motivation Theory running community, Motivation Theory Run Club. See, it works for everything. You guys like that run, rest, repeat? I have had several mottos over the years, and I'll say things in videos, and it's just like, oh, I like that. And then I'll forget, because I have over 500 videos now. I forget the things that I've said, and I'll go back and try to find it. So I like this. Run, rest, repeat. This is basically the things I believe in. Run a lot. Rest is super important, and just keep repeating those two, run and resting. That's all you need. Keep it simple. So that's going to kind of be the Motivation Theory Run Club motto of mine in all the videos. And I do have some logos that I'm working on, because I'm trying to do some Run Club merch. And so I'm doing a lot of research in that, and I've been creating logos. So excited about that. I'll be posting those soon so you guys can vote on. I'm actually going to let all of you vote. So I'm going to have a live stream where I'm going to put those up. We're going to kind of vote on them here, and I'm going to let you all have some input on them. So I think that's kind of cool for all of you too. Let me go back up here. John McClavery, am I saying that right? Probably not. Here in Scotland, we are still not allowed on the trails and mountains. So I take the USA. I take it the USA, the countryside is open everywhere. So it depends on where you are. In Virginia, the state parks were still open, but what they were doing is they were locking them down so you can't drive into them, so that they would allow the roads to be used for walking and biking to help with the crowding. Where I run has 30 miles of trail, so it doesn't really get congested, but you can't drive into them. But there are areas in the United States, because we're a very large country, and states can control that with all the governors in each state. There are places where they've locked trails down and canceled, and not allowed anybody on them. So it's different everywhere we are. It's not like the country made the decision. I think federal parks. We have federal parks, state parks. There's all kinds of different things, people in charge with the states. So it just depends on where you are. But Scotland's got to be beautiful. My wife and I have always wanted to go to Scotland. That's in Ireland. So I think I've said that before. West Virginia Don said, thank you, Goku Runner. Flipper WIZ said, sorry to hear that in Scotland, John. That does suck. Yeah, I feel bad for people that have had... There's been people that aren't allowed out of their house, not allowed to go running, or they have to run under certain times. And I couldn't imagine if the trails were locked down. Like, that's just... It's actually created a different problem. So, like, when you go to the park, everyone has a park along a main kind of road that's off of Route 95, which is a major highway. So it's actually creating a danger zone for people parking on the sides of the road. It's not meant to be parked on. So I don't know how much longer that's going to go on. Eventually they're going to have to open the park. But it is nice that all the roads are open and the people can kind of walk on those roads. It's helped with a little bit with that. Ross Serve 123 says, I know all three: stone, pounds, ounces, and then you don't have to convert. Yeah. That probably would help. I need to get smarter about that stuff. But I'm just convinced that I'm just going to be dumb about certain things. And that's just going to happen. It's just going to happen. Frank said, at John, it's actually state by state here. Most places are open. We have a few trails that are, specifically closed, but mostly open. Yeah, it said the same thing. See, Frank, great minds, man. Yeah, it depends on state by state. They're actually in Virginia. The governor is going to be closing businesses in Northern Virginia and opening them in Southern Virginia, and telling everybody, because of the COVID cases are so strong in Northern Virginia. But then he said, everybody in Northern Virginia, go ahead and travel south to go to the open places. I'm like, does that sound weird to all of you? Like, that doesn't sound weird. It's like saying, okay, everybody's having a lot of issues in this one area. We're going to keep it closed down for the businesses, but we're going to allow you to spread that to the places where it's not high numbers. Like, I don't understand that. It's weird. David Rowan said, we have 50 miles per hour winds in Scotland tomorrow. 50? Holy smokes. The other day, there was a couple runs I had probably about a month ago that I was running and the wind's blowing against me so hard to the point where I stopped one point and just laughed, because I'm like, really? Like, it was pushing me. And so it was an out and back. And on my way back, I'm like, well, at least I'll have the wind to my back. Do you think the wind was at my back when I came back? No, it was still blowing again. I'm like, what in the world is going on? It was bad. It was really bad how strong the wind. I couldn't imagine running. That was like 20 mile an hour winds. 50. I mean, how do you stay up? You got to put an inner tube around yourself, so if you fall over, you can just kind of roll. West Virginia Don said, I'm driving my long run up this weekend. Tasmania Running said, long run on wife's birthday is kind of ultra brave. Exactly, it is ultra brave. When I ran that 50K on Mother's Day, I didn't know that it was Mother's Day when I signed up for it. It's the only way I got away with it. And it was a 24-hour race, and I had trained to run the 24-hour race. Even I knew that would have been ultra brave to say, you know what, I'm going to skip Mother's Day. So I got up super early. I think the race started at 7. I was done like 6 hours later, and I was out. Came back home. Stayed out of trouble. I probably was in a little bit of trouble, but I stayed out of trouble for the most part. Arlene M. says, if you're doing 10 miles, you should do the Adrenaline 15K virtual. That's 9.3 miles. Yeah, I could see that. 10 miles. You guys hear me say that before. 10 miles is my favorite distance. I don't know why. It's just running 10 miles is. I've told you guys I'm OCD about numbers. 10 for some reason just is a good number to me. Grindle said at David Rowan, I ran today with some elevation. I had some amazing uphills with the headwind effort. 10% but barely moving. 10% is pretty good. That's a steep hill. John McClavery said, hi, David R. I was running into that wind for the first half of my run tonight. I thought I'd stopped. I couldn't even imagine because I've had half that gusts and it blows so hard against you. It makes you actually feel, it makes you like stop. Like I got tired of running into it. Like it's like, okay, now I get it. Like calm down. Recycle on Wednesday. Do you stream on schedule? I just found your channel today. Well, first, welcome to the channel. Appreciate it. Yes, I stream on Mondays and Friday, or I've already said it wrong. Tuesdays and Fridays, 5 p.m. Eastern time. I've been doing that like the last 3 weeks. I think this is the third week. This is the 6th episode. Yeah, so it's a schedule. Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Eastern time and Fridays 5 p.m. Eastern time. Frank said, thanks, John. Go to it. Go. Gotta go. All right, you got to take off. Thank you, Frank. I appreciate it. Take care, Frank. Be safe. Enjoy the runs. Well, not the runs. You know what I mean. You're running. I really don't hope you get the runs. It's... I'm getting goofy now. West Virginia Don said, thanks, John. Love the motto. David Rudd said, run, rest, repeat, have fun, relax. Absolutely. Joshua Payne, welcome to the stream. Howdy, John. Howdy, Joshua. How are you? Good to see you. Tasmania Running said, on the trails, our trails just opened this week. Can only drive to one within 30K, though. So that's under 20 miles. 30K, see, that's my math. So 10K, 6.2, multiply that by 3, that 18.6K, or miles. Oh, you already wrote it at the, I didn't even read that. You just put there 18 miles. See, it took me a couple seconds, but I got there. Flipper WIZ. Video title, How to Live a Fine Line with the Wife. I think years ago I did a video about ultra runners and kind of how to balance that. I think I need to revisit that. I think that's a good thing to do. It's a good video. If you're just joining the stream, make sure you hit that thumbs up before you leave. Try to get to 20 if you haven't liked it yet. That'd be great. That's a great title though, Flipper. I like that. West Virginia Don said, no long run tomorrow. Ran a long run today, and we'll run along on Sunday 10. Today 10, so early Sunday early. Yeah, I ran 7 today. I was gonna do 10. I was like, no, I needed to get upstairs, take over the baby so they could leave, so the wife and the kids could go pick up sandwiches. And I'm planning on doing that 10 in the morning. I'm gonna need help. I've been staying up way too late working on content, editing, doing all the YouTube stuff on the back end. So a lot of these nights I'm up till 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. So you guys know, so that's why I have such a hard time getting up and running. I'm not like a Fuzi where I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and run. I just can't. I'll get like 3 hours of sleep a night. So I'm hoping to do that. I'm hoping to. Don says, no long run on the wife's birthday. That's a good way to stay safe, man. I don't want you getting hurt out there. You distracted it. Tasmania Running said, I've started night running. Easier with the family. A bit eerie out in the bush in the dark, though. Yeah, I guess if you're out there running outside. So I used to do a ton of night running. I still do. I still run at night. So people comment all the time if you follow me on Strava. that, a lot of my runs will be after 10:30 or 11 some nights. I used to run outside more at night, and I just, as I've gotten older, I'm like, just don't. It's just easier to go get on the treadmill and do it. I used to really enjoy running at night though. There's less people. It was cooler. So it's nice. But I can imagine running out in the woods. If you're out in the bush, yeah, that'd be kind of weird. Definitely kind of weird. Don says, no long run. I got what you're saying. No long run on the wife's birthday. Absolutely. That's how you stay safe. There's been a lot of nights where I want to go out and run at night here. And it'd be a lot easier than out in the bush, obviously. Years ago, I ran at like 10:30. We were going out of town the next day. And I did this all the time, but it was later. So 10:30 was actually a lot later than I normally would. And I think I told the story before. This is probably 12 years ago. And I told the wife, I'm like, I'm just going to go get my run in real quick. I was just going to do a 5K out and back. And then I got about a mile from my house, and I was going around a turn, and a car was coming. So I was on this side of the road, the correct side of the road in America, the run on. But because it was coming around, I cut across. It was going around this S-turn. I cut across the road because they blinded me and I couldn't see. So I cut over and I stepped on the edge of the pavement, and water had washed it out. So there was about that much of a drop from the asphalt. I stepped on and my ankle just went completely off. My ankle rolled. My ankle hit the ground, snapped. It tore muscle, tore ligament. It sheared the bone off of my the pointy part of your ankle. I just hit the ground. I was running downhill just hard too. And I was probably 7.5 minute, 8 minute mile at that point, just running hard. Fell in the gravel. I stood up and I'm bleeding from my arms, bleeding from my leg. It's bleeding everywhere. I had a black stocking hat on, black sweatshirt. So I looked like I was robbing something. And this lady pulls up, and I stood up, and my adrenaline is going crazy. I stood up, and I'm just kind of doing my ankle's like hanging over my shoe, and I'm bleeding everywhere. And this lady drives by in a minivan, and you could tell she was scared because it's late, and I was under a street lamp. And she just she slows down to about 1 or 2 miles per hour, and she rolls down the window, and she's like, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Not really." But before I went out, my wife said, "Why don't you take your cell phone?" I never took my cell phone back then. I'm like, because I just didn't want to carry it. I happened to to have my cell phone on me because she said that, and I was able to call my father-in-law to come get me because my wife had the babies and it was late. So yeah, I ended up the next, I guess, 7 weeks recovering from, breaking my ankle and all that stuff. It was a nightmare. So running at night has its challenges. That's a long story to say that, but I wanted to tell that story. I was in a boot for quite a while, and I had a lot of rehab on that ankle to get stronger. Now that ankle's stronger than the other one now. It's always on my left side that has the problems now. Yeah, it was an ouch. It was a pain that I had not felt before. I don't even know how I did it. Like, I had a black line going up my calf, literally a black line. My foot was black, my ankle was black, but I had a line coming down the back of my calf. And I remember going to the doctor and asking, like, it hurt, and I was ankle, and I was like, I was more concerned with that. They're like, that's not a big deal. It's like you just sheared the muscle, and it was one of the muscles they said that you don't really need, that not everybody has. I'm like, I got an extra set of muscle in my calf. Like, I don't know. I don't know. It hurt. And they were not concerned about it. I was more concerned with the black line that was running down the back of my calf. It was complete. I've never seen anybody have that before. It was about an inch wide, and it ran from the back of my knee down towards more of the lateral side of my calf, down into my ankle. Very bizarre. Especially since I rolled to the outside. I'm not even sure how I did it. Very, very violent fall. I'm sure it would have looked really funny. I wish I was filming. All the falls that I've had, I did film one. You guys have seen the video I did months ago where I fell into the river. I didn't film it really good. It was on that delayed filming, whatever you call it. Oh, can't remember. But it was. I did get it on tape though. All the bleeding and everything. I've only fallen twice. So yeah, it is ouch. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad news. So now I'm a little more careful when I go out running because of the family. I don't like worrying the wife. So it's good. I got to be respectful of everyone else. running at times can be hard on the family, especially when they're crewing me and stuff. I've had my kids cry when I've run ultras because they're scared, especially out in the middle of the woods and stuff like that. And they see people dropping out and they don't see me for hours on end. It's stressful for all of them. So I do the best I can to kind of keep them happy. All right, well, everyone, I have gone over 35 minutes, and I feel bad, but I was having a great time talking to all of you. So, have I considered using poles? Absolutely. I'm actually going to be purchasing a set of poles. I'm going to be using the poles for the next year's races. Not all ultras let you use poles, but I'm going to be using poles. I'm going to have to train with them just because it's not something I'm used to. I'm going to be buying those. I've been looking into them, like which ones I should have, which ones are the best. I hear people complaining about the rattling and stuff. My pack has a place to put them right now, my Ultimate Direction pack, so I might have to buy a new pack. So I'm absolutely planning to use poles. If I can use them in the ultras the one I'm training for next year, I'm going to be using poles, absolutely. Forgot where I was going to go with that. So, Next stream is going to be Tuesday, 5 p.m. I'll be finding a topic for that. And if you guys have topics you think would be something interesting to talk about or questions you have, please, you can, send me a message in any video. You can comment on any video. You can send me an email at motivationtheoryjohn@gmail.com. It's motivationtheoryjohn@gmail.com. You can email me there. Any questions, any ideas for the stream, you can do that. I'd appreciate that. I want to make sure. I got a list here I've been looking at. Sometimes I forget to say some of the stuff I want to say. Please make sure you go out and watch the last video I released on which one was that? When to replace your running shoes. That was a great video, so I think you guys would like it. It's doing well, so let me know your thoughts down in the comments on that. Yeah, have a great weekend. Be safe, everyone. And those in the States for Memorial Day, be safe. Have fun as much as you can have fun in the pandemic. I think that's it. That's all I got for you. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for the last hour and 40 minutes. It means a lot. And make sure you hit that thumbs up on the way out. And make sure you set your reminder. I'm gonna do this early for Tuesday night. I'm gonna hold Tuesday night to a closer hour because it's during the week, and I know people got stuff going on. So Flipper says thanks for the stream. Been learning tons from your videos. I appreciate that. Thank you, Tasmania Running, Flipper WIZ, Arlene M. Have a great weekend. Have a great holiday. David Rowan, thank you. Arlene, David. West Virginia Running Don, Goku Runner, Frank, John, Grendel. For all of you, thank you for watching and Recycle on Wednesday. Thank you. To anybody new, subscribers, all of you, thank you very much. And I will see you Tuesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Be safe, everyone. You guys can keep chatting here for a second. I'm going to transition this into the thanks for watching. So thanks for watching. There we go. It was a rough start, everyone. It was definitely a rough start. 5 minutes of dead air of me trying to figure out the mic. Craziness. I'm going to do better. I'm going to do better on Tuesday. You guys are the best. Be safe out there. Don, make sure you don't go on your long run tomorrow. I don't want to hear about any incidents with your wife. I want you healthy. All right, guys, take care.